wrestling fans, from body slams to high-flying plans. Join the chat, hear the scoops. Jump in quick, don't be a stoop. We're throwing down in every match with tales and fights that you can't catch. The Marks Podcast is the place to be for every wrestling mystery.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Chimmel, the GOAT of ring announcers, and you're listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.
Welcome to the Marks Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Last week we had a special guest, and Jacob was not here to comment on the ongoings. He has now come up with a response, so before we start anything else, we're going to go into that.
Jacob's gonna win the truth ignites. No holding back, no silent nights. His rage cuts through the dark of lights. Every round's a battle, every word a fight.
Slay cunts through the dark of nights all the time. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, redirect the show because I have a poem for you guys. All right. Now, this is a poem dedicated to one Lee Cole. Lee Cole's podcast, Wrestling with the Devil, sucks ass. A shitty fucking mess. No grit. No class. Renee, his lover, is clingy as fuck. Sucking Lee's balls. What a cucked up schmuck. Their gay romance fuels a podcast so lame. Just droning bullshit. No spark. No flame. These love-struck lovers got nothing to say. No, seriously, skip this shit. It's a waste of your day. Jacob McGovern, 2025.
Jacob's corner ain't no ordinary space. He rants and raves with that fire in his face. Every word a racket, shaking up the place. The whole block hears him setting his pace.
So, welcome to the Marks Podcast. Before we get started, though, like I said, Jacob got to say his piece, and we encourage free speech. That's what we've always been about here, no matter if we like it or dislike it. Hell, me and Gerard don't always get along, but we put that out here for everybody to see. Through correspondence, I was notified that Lee was not very happy with my, I guess he said, bullying of him in the last episode. So I'd like to make a rebuttal and act like a fucking adult, okay? Let's just call it like it is. I find it very funny that a guy that named his YouTube channel Wrestling with the Devil has such thin skin. I don't apologize for having an opinion. That opinion being that you're full of shit, you're an opportunist, and you have no credibility whatsoever. I do not apologize for speculating that every sub on your fucking channel is bullshit and is paid for. I do not apologize for having the opinion that when you have the opportunity to come down and have an interaction with Gerard, you didn't because you were afraid, because you're a coward, in my opinion. At the end of the day, you lived in New York, or you lived here long enough in Texas that you know how to drive on ice. And to be fair, the weather was not that bad that week. I live here too. If you're going to tell me that the Panhandle was worse, well, you got me there, Lee. I believe your statement was you would not come on this program unless Gerard's partner, that being me, apologized. I don't want you on this program. I could give two shits about you. You're a nobody. I don't give a shit about your opinion or anything you think about me. I don't care. What I do care about is the man that I work with on a weekly basis on a show that we do for fun. Yeah, for fun. Not because this is my job. I have a 9-to-5 and I make good money doing that job. I do this for fun because I like interacting with both Jacob and Gerard. Other than that, you are an insignificant speck on the fucking little ball we call the world. You suck. That's it. I have nothing.
I mean,
go ahead.
There, I mean, you said it, man. I mean, I said it on my show. You know, shout out to Shooting the Shit with Cubics. Literally, the fact that he has all these subscribers, Lee Cole, I'm talking to you again. I said it on my channel. You can go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. But literally, you have all these subscribers supposedly, yet no one talks about you. No one.
But, okay, Jacob, but
no
even
one
then,
thinks
I
about
don't.
him.
That's not even my thing with him. My thing is, he got upset because I bullied him and called him names. I think the worst thing I called him was a gummer and a dickhead.
I think
Now,
I said more. I said worse on my show.
I'm sure you did, but the thing is, I don't care. For a guy that named himself Wrestling with the Devil, well, the devil has thin fucking skin. And what kills me is you have been calling a man who has never been convicted of the allegations you're accusing him of a predator, a pedo, for lack of a better term. No one has ever checked you on that. No one has ever said anything. And it's okay for you to do it. But when you get a little bit of fucking retaliation, a little bit of clapback, those balls sink right up into your fucking throat. You talk a really big game, Mr. Mobster. Mr. I fucking was running from the mafia. A guy on the internet who is never going to meet you, because I have no desire to, who's never going to interact with you, called you names. And your simple ass sat there in your retirement home and cried like a little girl. You have Renee mop up your tears, clean up your diaper, and wipe your chin.
Possibly has come to. Sorry.
Grow up and move on. I don't want you on this show. I don't care. As long as these two motherfuckers make it, I'm good. As long as my wife is here, awesome. Now, that's over, and we're done with that, and we can move on from the dipshit. Let's talk about WrestleMania.
Hey, everybody.
I mean, again, Gerard, I don't want to step on your toes. It just
no. Listen. This is our standard and practices division, people, in case you're wondering. I had to do some consulting with them, and, they just told me, no, and now I'm good to go.
Well, again, we go back to it.
Champ, Curly Joe, and who else? Who are the other stooges? Curly Joe, the other Joe.
Well, no, but what bothered me is I listened. I went back. We listened to that fucking thing you were on. He used you. He played you and he double teamed you, and then he went back and he fucking edited the whole thing to try to make you into something you're not. And now the video's gone.
And then deleted it
like
a bitch.
And now the video's gone.
And one thing I do hope people realize is that if it ever comes out, if he ever decides to put it out again, there is more to that video than he knows. And we will have no problem putting a full rebuttal out if he decides he wants to put out his video.
Well, again, this is the thing, Gerard. It goes back to what we've done on this program repeatedly. He said he had still photos of Mel at a fucking Boy Scouts of America thing. Oh, wait, we found a video. Not that it was hidden. Not that no one knew what it was. That was on fucking YouTube. Anytime that guy has shown up with bullshit, you, myself, and fucking Jacob, along with my lovely wife, have shut it down. Anybody who wants to take the credibility of a known fucking liar, a convicted liar in Lee Cole, I can't make that up. His jacket will say that. If anybody who wants to take the word of a guy who has bullshit his way through everything, hope WrestleMania is going great for you, dickhead, then to do that. Or you can listen to a guy in Gerard who's been nothing but honest, straightforward, and above board. That's what it comes down to. What's up, Monty?
I still wish I was there in Vegas right now. I would have trolled the shit out of him. I would have been holding up signs and shit.
The good part, the good part about this is, in the pro wrestling world, watch, listen, learn. And if you can't figure those 3 words out, change the damn channel. We did a lot of watching yesterday. And if you listened and you learned anything from yesterday and or Friday night, you learned one thing. If I'm listening to that and watching it, Triple H is not his father-in-law. But Triple H still loves his father-in-law. And in all aspects of it, I don't disagree with that man one bit for how he.
I loved it. We're talking about the Hall of Fame speech. I love that Hall of Fame speech. And look,
That was awesome.
I'll use you, Gerard, as an example. You're my friend. I'll bullshit aside. You're my friend. And I don't always agree with the way you handle things, but it doesn't mean I don't care about you any less. And so Triple H, we were talking about Vince. It's a situation. He's not happy with the situation. He doesn't like the situation.
He used the correct word.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like in every interview that Triple H, in every interview that Triple H has now, like they ask him about Vince in some way, and it's just like, what the fuck do you want the guy to say? What
they want is for him to basically go out and look. I don't like Vince. All right, I don't like his ways. I don't like his decisions. I didn't like him as a booker. I didn't like what he did. But let's call it what it is. Until the man's put in front of a court, let them decide. The biggest issue I have with everything as far as wrestling is the court of public opinion. And me and Gerard have beaten this into y'all's heads. That is the worst fucking court to go by. Because once you're implicated in something, it doesn't matter if you're innocent or not. You're guilty forever. And it's bullshit.
Well, I got to say this. Yep. Not only did Triple H admonish him, he goes, yes, it's a complicated situation. If you notice, though, he didn't mention one thing about the business part of Vince.
No.
Not one. He kept it family. And, I think we've said it before in the show, talking about have your opinions of the guy business-wise, but at the end of the day, what did he say? He's the father of my wife. He's the grandfather of my kids. He made it about his personal. He made it personal. Yep. Another guy said something for Friday too, or maybe Thursday it was. Nobody's going to get me to change my mind. I love Vince McMahon. John Cena. So in the past,
and again, people were giving Cena shit for that, and again, you got to look at it from his perspective. Like, he changed Cena's life essentially. Like,
go further than that, Jacob. Steve Austin said, we're back in the grill. I talked to the old man. Vince McMahon was a commentator. Look, you can dislike.
Undertaker said he'd take a bullet for Vince. Yep. He said it. Yeah.
You can dislike the man all you want. Absolutely, I get it. But you're not there. You don't know the severity of the situation. The problems I have with Vince, and before anybody starts clapping back and saying that I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth, is the handling of the Ashley Mazzaro situation. I've always talked about it. That's one of the things I don't like. The thing I don't like was the handling of the Nancy Argentino thing. Didn't like it. But as far as Rita, as far as someone like fucking Janelle Grant, I feel like they were out there to get a buck, and now they're out there. No different than someone like Monica Lewinsky. She sucked dick and got famous. It is what it is.
To be fair to the man, he was assassinated for the way he handled Chris Benoit because he thought another wrestler had just passed away.
What happened?
And he was assassinated because they said, you stopped a show because you thought this guy did this. And how did he come out and respond to that? He goes,
we didn't have all the fucking information.
We did not, because he had so many young talent pass away where in my mind, for that show, he did the right thing.
Well, let's look at a real victim here. Look, fuck Janelle Grant, fuck everything else. Let's look at a real victim here. A woman who's in that audience at the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. A woman who's been dragged through the fucking mud just because she was married to his ass and now is being dragged into court over bullshit she had nothing to do with in Linda McMahon. How about we sympathize for her because she is being fucking pulled through the fucking mud and treated like shit. She didn't fuck she didn't fuck Janelle Grant. She's guilty of being married to a dickhead.
And she still clapped when Triple H said all that shit about Vince.
Because why? Because at the end of the day, he made it personal. He did not make it about the business.
How about I
give him the credit for not making it anything about the business. He kept it personal with him. And, but did you also notice he mentioned another guy too?
Pat Patterson.
And he also mentioned Shane too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for all this
remember
talk,
all
like,
the speculation about how he hates Shane and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And why
Yeah, how
at
Shane
his
and
Hall
him
of
hate
Fame
each other,
speech,
like-
at his Hall of Fame speech, he says, "I love you, I miss you."
Yep.
Well, you know, I mean, because Shane's going to AEW, you know, of course.
Even if he does, that's his fucking business. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is entertainment. These are fucking characters. Their personal lives mean nothing to me. I'm sorry, they don't. You know who I care about? The Seth Rollins that fucking had that match last night. The character Roman Reigns, not Phil Brooks, CM Punk. I enjoy the characters.
Now, hey, let's talk. Hey, wait a minute. Look, now, as you bring up Roman Reigns, we'll get back more to this later. How much was he jumped on this weekend over a vote that he did?
And he didn't have to tell anybody who he voted for.
Right. He didn't have
He really did not have to say that at all. But you know what? Like, again, who the fuck cares? The amount of people I saw on fucking Twitter or X or whatever the fuck you want to call it now, like just going off like, oh, I'm no longer a fan of Roman Reigns. How can he support such a thing? It's like, who cares, bro? Like,
here's the thing that kills me about that. Okay, CM Punk is super liberal. Clearly, wearing his fucking merch. I'm a conservative. I still like CM Punk as a wrestler and a character. Got into a whole fucking discussion about it recently. Now, Roman said himself he's usually a Democrat, but the woman that was running the Democratic ticket didn't say shit. So he went and made an educated vote on his personal beliefs. Okay, good for you. People have died for our right to do that. What, now you want to go back 200 years and say go fuck yourselves? All this freedom that these people bitch about, they wouldn't have anywhere else. So thank your lucky fucking stars you have it now.
Hey, and I will say this to that. For all you people who want to talk that crap, it's 2025. The Equal Rights Amendment for women still isn't a signed document by all 50 states. So, you know, you want to get off your high horse and stuff like that. Now, there's a part of Brooklyn or the Bronx, wherever she's from, where I hope this person doesn't get equal rights, because I don't ever feel like I want to live in a socialist country. But I do believe in free and fair stuff, and you're free to make your own decisions on what you do in life in this country. And one of the decisions that we're able to do is talk about what's going on the past couple of days in the world of professional wrestling.
Good transition. And you know what I do want to talk about? Lex Luger. Man, he came out there and my heart went out to him. And for all the people that still give him shit, can you not just let it go? He's found, look, maybe you're not a God-fearing person, whatever. I am. He found God. He found peace. The man is happy finally. You know, what really got me is at the end of his speech, he said, "Mom, I know you're in heaven, but we did it. And one day I'll see you again and we'll celebrate together." And he did it while standing.
yeah.
Speaking of people who couldn't
walk, man, Butterbean had a match over the, you know, he had a match with Minoru Suzuki, you know, but like, again, back to the fact that Sting wasn't there was really annoying, but like you know, DDP again gave a great speech, you know, and again, this guy basically saved his life. So, you know, it was an all around good moment. I wasn't expecting it to be as emotional as it was. I was like, oh shit. I was sitting there like, what the fuck?
Go ahead, Gerard.
For him to get up and stand up, you come to realize one thing. All the demons that's gone in this guy's life, he's gotten paid back for all the demons that he's allowed to be done.
I think Paige said it best. He had to lose everything to realize it meant nothing. Like he suffered in shadows.
He's probably going through stuff. He's gone through stuff that you might not wish it on your worst enemy to go through, to where you can say to them, I want you to live, but I want you to live the worst possible life you can. To understand, you had it up here, and in one swoop, everything you ever knew about life gets taken away from you. One swoop. Now, we can also say that about when, like I said, when you hear about Triple H, and he talking about the cardiac incident. Okay, being of someone who's had cardiac incidents, I can somewhat relate to that, to where you forget about everything else in your life that you think is important to you. And you look at your spouse, you look at your kids and say, what do I do if I'm not around? What do they do if I'm not around? And you start, and all you do, you start to listen to things. The things you start to listen to the most are the doctors that keep you alive. To where
Well, what you're talking about right now, like Triple H said the same thing. He said that he worked a certain way before his cardiac event, and then he realized when he came out of it, the only thing that mattered to him was those 3 girls and Stephanie.
Dan, you know what? I'm a balls to the walls worker. Okay. Yeah. I used to be worse. When these wrestlers talk about going up and down the road at 90 miles an hour and stuff like that, not having a care in the world until something happens to them, I used to be the way. I didn't know what relaxing meant.
Well, let me ask you this. I wasn't not that you have that mindset. This is something you and I go back and forth about. I'm one who believes that hard work should be rewarded. Absolutely. But you and I have talked about how they've eliminated the house shows.
Yep.
But you said in eliminating the house shows, we get, less crisp product. I agree with you.
The 7 matches you saw yesterday.
No, hold on.
Okay.
I agree with you on that. What I'm saying is, though, they're not working 300 days a year anymore. Mm-hmm. So they're able to be happier people, and they're able to spend that time with their family. Now, what I would say is this. If you got a guy who's going down to the performance center or a guy that's constantly putting work in and practicing and doing this, I would reward that. If someone's just showing up to do the bare minimum, why would I reward that? You're not putting in the time for my company. Fuck you.
Listen to Triple H Hall of Fame speech. Every free moment he had, where was he?
Working.
He, whether it be in a gym, power plant, everything he was doing, he wasn't working to make. He wasn't working in all that extra stuff just for the extra money. He was working.
No, and I agree with you.
He wanted to be that guy.
But
he wanted to get there.
What if there are some people, like you said, he was in a bunch of cars with a bunch of people, and they didn't want to talk about the business. They didn't want to talk about work.
All he wanted to do was talk about the business. All he wanted to do.
So then you find that group and you elevate those guys to be your top guys because clearly they want to be there. And you find those people who want to be that. For everybody else who's just there for a paycheck, let them be there for a paycheck. Let them fill the role.
Now, the last thing I'm going to say about this is before you had the guaranteed contracts, I think people respected the business more too because you worked harder for that paycheck. Guaranteed money nowadays is like in all sports. All I got to do is show up when you tell me to show up because I'm already getting paid.
So, and a great point to that too is like on the recent that LFG show that they had Gunther come in and like talk to the rookies, and he's just like, "Yep." He's like, "You guys are in here." Like he was just dressing down all of them. He's all like, "Yep, you guys think you guys can make a quick buck, like that sort of thing." Like, like he was dressing down. He's like, he's like, "Do you guys want to be here to make money, or are you here just to fucking, like for the business, And
okay,
it's just
Jacob, I'm glad you brought Gunther up because he's a perfect example. Minus last night, okay, because everybody's got to lose at some point. But look at Gunther's career up to this point in WWE. He said it himself, 80% of the time, he's been a world champion or been some sort of champion in WWE, correct? Can we all agree on that? Okay. Would you say that Gunther has the physique of a fucking Greek god?
No.
Would you say that Gunther is the most attractive-looking man on the roster?
Did you see the slow motion when he jumped off onto Jey
Uso?
Uso?
Okay. But you know what else? But you know what? He's fucking putting in the time. He's putting in the work.
I don't know if you guys noticed last night.
Gunther used to look compared to now. Like when he was Walter, like he was a big dude, and like
but what I'm saying, Jacob, is the fact is he's not your typical fucking wrestler. He's a throwback, but the motherfucker, all he does is bleed the business, and because of that, they have rewarded him with 80% of his career. He's been a champion.
I don't know if you guys noticed last night. I think they went to 4K cameras last night. And
it was not pretty.
It was not pretty for
No. Because by going to that 4K, you got to get It was like, yeah, you were standing right in front of that guy, and you saw stuff, and girls, you saw stuff that you shouldn't really been looking at. And it looked like a green screen was behind them the whole time when they went to that 4K camera. But you know, to go back to the other thing is saying, guys, the house shows, you don't have to wrestle that guy that you're going to go at WrestleMania with, because they never used to do it. So I'll give you a perfect. Let's say Gunther, instead of fighting Jay on the house show circuit just to team up, just to get them things going, he would have fought Jimmy. And then Jay would have fought somebody else.
No, but you're right.
What you say is,
point last night, right? First match, we're talking about WrestleMania.
Yep.
Gunther looked solid. Gunther was flawless in his attack. Gunther looked like he should have been there. Jay looks sloppy to me, in my opinion. I'm not a wrestler.
I mean, he was probably fucking drunk from the Hall of Fame still.
But as somebody watching, I felt like Jay was sloppy. So,
like I said, though, that crowd in the first match last night, yeah, they can yeet as much as you want, but from bell to bell, I've seen independent shows more lively.
Okay, would you also have that? Was the dome open last night?
No, that was just a clear roof. That's all that is a clear roof.
Yeah, it was just sunny outside all day.
Yeah, it was just sunny. And as you notice, that's up until the last match, the sun was up the whole time.
Now I'll say this: Philly was a better crowd. Fucking Dallas was a better crowd.
Los Angeles was a better crowd, dude.
I wasn't happy with the first match. Me and my wife.
My thing is, all those people in Las Vegas, they might be pissed off how much money they've already lost.
Well, I'll say this.
And how fucking hot it was too. Apparently, it was hot as balls. It was like fucking.
Well, you're in an air-conditioned building. That means nothing.
Yeah. I would be okay with Jay winning. It was the way he won that bothered me.
I was watching it with my dad and my nephew, and I audibly looked at me and my dad were so pissed that, we already knew Jay was winning. I mean, it was so obvious, but it was just kind of like that whole match just felt like, all right, let's just, get it over with, because obviously I kind of felt bad for Gunther in this situation because out of all the ways you could have had Jay win, could have had to do the splash. You could have had him fucking win with a super kick. You had him tap out Gunther. And Gunther tapped out fast as fuck. I don't know I don't know why he tapped out.
I think he was ready to be out of there. I think he was getting frustrated. And
he was gone. Like when Jay Uso was in the ring, he was out of there. I don't know. I think he's frustrated.
But I don't think he look. Gunther has never been one not to do business. Shit, he did it last year with Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn and him had an instant fucking classic. You had the perfect underdog. Look, that's what you want at WrestleMania. Let's be honest. WrestleMania is the end of one story, the beginning of another. This is supposed to be the end of the good guy chasing the bad guy, or the
yeah. Let me ask you this though.
The problem with that, though, who is going to benefit from a feud with Jey Uso?
Right. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to bring that up in a second, but go ahead, Gerard.
So let me ask you this. Gunther beats the snot out of Jay the whole match.
Yeah.
Jay does a quick pin. 1, 2, 3. You have Gunther in the middle of the ring. He's like, no. What comes across better?
That does better. I thought
that does a hell of a lot than having him tap out.
So here's why I think this is why they want. This is why, and I've been thinking about it all day. I watched some of it earlier, and I've been watching highlights. Here's my thought. Were you trying to come in, wife?
I was just going to say, because you guys talk all the time about how finishers are no longer finishers.
Yeah.
It means nothing anymore. The fact that we've all seen the chop, matches between Gunther and everybody else and how devastating his chops are. The fact that they had Jey Uso laughing every time he got hit also undid it for me.
Yeah.
The man can chop like nothing, it's so hilarious because Jey Uso's so fucking tough. It took me out.
We've talked about that before with the DDT. We've talked about that.
So this is what I'm saying. That was a beautiful point by Trips. I'm going to lean into a match that happened later that night. Again, I've been thinking about this whole time, trying to figure out what the fuck. Okay. I think that they did this and they had Gunther lose the way they did. Part of this is right now I'm thinking about it too. Because they want to end the feud. They don't want to give Gunther a rematch. They may not. We'll see what happens Monday. But what I'm thinking is, with the outcome of the main event from last night, with the winner, who would be the first challenger for Jay's title? With the way it ended,
the bathroom.
and the direction that they're going, do you not think that a man and his new manager would be a wonderful start for his? And then you said it yourself, Jacob. He's not holding that belt for long. He's not believable.
My thing about that
My
is
fear is I think he's holding it till SummerSlam, and I really hope not.
I don't think so. I think this is going to be a quick one.
my other thing about that is Seth Rollins didn't need Paul Heyman.
Hold
We'll
on.
talk about that later.
Seth Rollins needs to go away. He needs
Go ahead,
to,
wife.
the fact that we're going to see more of him now is really sad. Here's the thing. We're going to get into it later, but if Paul Heyman does all the talking for Seth Rollins going forward, then this is golden, and that's what you need to do. Because Seth Rollins does not need to talk anymore. He does not need.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, but wife, what were you going to say?
Jacob, the part you'll like though, he'll still wear out his wife's clothes.
Yeah, I mean,
Hold on.
I think we're seeing his wife tonight.
Jacob, time out. Go ahead.
I hit a button by mistake. Y'all are good.
Well, fuck. Anyway.
Damn it.
So what I'm saying is there are reasons, and again, I trust. We talked about it before. This is the Paul Levesque era of WWE. I trust his vision. I really do. I trust Triple H's vision for where they're going in the future.
The vision I trust. Sometimes those guys go into business for themselves, and once I say, if these two guys walked into the back last night, and if they got a pat on the back for that match, I don't know who was watching that match, but they should have put on blinders, because I'll tell you this right now.
But again, you got to remember, Gerard, this is
a
not
horrible world
to be
title
fair,
match.
This was not for us. All right, wrestling is not for our generations anymore.
Whoa. Everything is for the fans.
Okay,
That's what they promote.
Well, and listen, they
Everything
wanted
for the fan.
Roman Reigns to be John Cena for years. They wanted Roman Reigns to be John Cena. Well, now they got it. They got their John Cena with their Samoan John Cena with his colorful glasses and his yeet shirts and all that bullshit. It's sad.
Listen, Gerard.
It's unfortunate, man, because
He's
he's going to be the mascot. He's going to be Billy Mays. That's all he's going to be for WWE.
This generation of wrestling is not made for someone my age or your age, Gerard. This is actually the fucking cubics. This is the Jacob era.
Yeah, let's go.
So hold on. We got this brand new white meat baby face coming out of West Newbury, Massachusetts. He's probably going to shake up the world tonight and win the world title. I don't know if you've heard about him.
Hey, I just got a text. As of right now, 60,346 tickets sold. 135 are available. So Jacob, if you run out now.
I know, right? Yeah, no, I just got to make the drive 2 hours. It's not that far.
You'll get there just in time.
Yeah, no, it is. Last night, I think, as far as a WrestleMania night one was not it. As far I just think
been better.
There was something missing.
To be fair,
there was something missing.
We've talked about it all year. We've talked about all this this season of WWE, and by season I mean their season starts usually
Tomorrow.
April, May.
Yep.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
So yes. So this is the end of the season. This hasn't been their best season. They've had the last couple of years have been amazing. We were due for a dip at some point, but this wasn't the worst. So
Let me ask you this.
This was season 4 of Buffy the Vampire
Wait a minute,
Slayer.
Jacob. Dan,
I'm sorry, that's an obscure reference. I'm sorry.
was the card overshadowed by an announcement that was made before the card even started?
hold on.
What, AAA?
Chayton just left a comment, and I understand where you're coming from. I thought there were some good spots here in this. The main event, it was all right. I'm not saying it was the best one.
Chayton.
So
That's okay. I like season 5 better, Chayton.
Gerard, what was the second match?
The second match was the oh shit. I sent it to you too. I said they went from a B minus. Hold on. It was a C plus. I know that. Hold on. But I'm saying to you, what about the? I want to go back and talk about the announcement before the show yesterday.
That what I sent you? Yes. Okay. So while you're looking that up, I do want to talk about the significance of this. And Jacob, being half Hispanic, I think you'll pick up on this as well. Yesterday, it was stated that WWE has acquired the wrestling company AAA. AAA is where all of your major Lucha Libre stars come from. Rey Mysterio was there. Conan has been there. Eddie's been there. Someone like Art Barr started out there.
Arca, Blue Demon.
La Parca, Blue Demon Jr., Mil Mascaras, even El Santo at some point passed through fucking Triple. Everybody knows Triple.
By the way, not to cut you off, Dan. Pluto TV and Tubi have a bunch of classic AAA matches. So if you're ever into that sort of shit, go on and watch that shit because it's great. They have like a full-on channel for classic AAA.
So that being said, they had a lot of them there, and the significance of this is they're doing a show called Worlds Collide. Worlds Collide was a show that WCW did years ago where they did cross-promotion, WCW and AAA. What's even more significant is that AAA was where AEW was getting a lot of their backdoor talent. Yep. This is where people like Hologram, Commander, and all these other guys came from. And then, in my opinion, Tony Khan was signing him on the table being a sneaky fuck. Now he can't do that anymore. I think this is a great thing because now these stars who I have really enjoyed, like the Vikingos. I mean, Vikingo.
Dude, Vikingo was there. That was awesome.
Yeah. They're going to get a spotlight like never before. And me and my friends have talked about this, and we're all in agreement. I think they're going to bring back the Cruiserweight title. I think the Cruiserweight title is going on Raw. And I think the light heavyweight title is going to go on SmackDown. Not that they need more titles, but right now they got 3 hours of television they need to cut. And with WCW did one thing better than anybody else. It was the Cruiserweights. It's where you fell in love with characters like an Eddie Guerrero, like a La Parca, like a not so much a Silver King, but a Juventud Guerrero, a Rey Mysterio, a Dean Malenko. You had
Damien 666. I love Damien 666.
You had
Triple H is. I mean, AAA is not this group that has cocaine, is it?
No, AAA
that's Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Okay. But the next match was a tag match.
Thank you.
No, we gotta still talk about this AAA thing because again, I think a war is about to go down.
Hold on, Jacob, but we really need to talk about, and I'm glad you're wearing that particular shirt with that particular layout, because we got to see a man who's been blackballed for years. We got to see a man come from the ashes, from the Gulf of America, and show the world that Lucha Libre still lives.
That wasn't the next match, though.
I know. And his name is El Grande Americano.
We'll talk about that match after.
What a performance. But what was the second match, right?
The tag match. The New Day versus the...
Which this is passable. I didn't think it was a bad match by any stretch. I knew the New Day was going to win. It's been too long. Their heel persona needed those belts. I don't like it at the expense of the War Raiders. The War Raiders are fucking amazing. I loved them back when they were War Machine. I didn't like the name The Viking Experience or whatever fucking Vince was smoking that week.
We're going to come. They're a Viking Experience.
I gave that match a C+. I gave that match a C+. And like I said, like a lot of my grades for matches from yesterday, crowd related. There was a lot of
so bad for the New Day, and then
that's the thing. The crowd was just dead.
The crowd died a death in this match. Like worse, it's probably one of the worst deaths of a crowd I've ever seen. Like at a WrestleMania.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was.
I mean, tonight's crowd. Listen, and the sad part is, crowds make or break this time of year.
Gracias.
Like, see, if I was there during this match, I'd be shouting shit out. Like you would have heard me on the live feed. I would have been like, "Shout out!"
Hey, Jacob. Hey, that would have been from up in the cheap seats because that's how dead it was.
Well, yeah, and that's probably the only seats I would have been able to get.
Again, this match was passable. I mean, it's not something I'm going to watch again, but and like again, the New Day. Until we find a resolution, whether it be Big E returns or something happens, I'm just not going to be. I'm not feeling New Day right now.
I think the way the heel turn has played out has been fucking weird because when the heel turn happened, it was there was a lot of hype for a week and then they just weren't on the show after that and then
I kind of find it like a little funny though that Xavier is trying to get this. You will thank God for the New Day. I like this.
Well, because first of all, this just highlights how good Xavier Woods is because, like him, like the promos he cuts, like when they're actually shown. Because
if this leads to Xavier Woods having a singles run at some point where he gets a singles title and still in the tag team, I'm okay with it. Ultimately, that's what I'm looking for.
I'm still pissed about the King Woods run. I think they could have done something with him.
I think that was the point of that. The point was to make Roman become overbearing, and they did a good job there.
To not get off that subject real quick about it, but if they get Saraya back,
boo.
Saraya?
Do you get
Xavier Woods? He's right there.
Hey, does he come in the back door?
Jesus fuck. And I'm not the oldest one here, and this motherfucker's a child. Jesus.
I always said I'm like Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods. The greatest tag team of all time. The Page Turners. The Page Turners.
Hey, anytime I get to just like pause you guys, it's.
So what was the next match?
I hope Saraya doesn't come back to WWE because of like all the shit she did. First of all, she literally had a dude come on the Divas title, and first of all, we're gonna brush past that. All the shit with her and Alberto Del Rio and all that fucking bullshit.
Okay, look. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to the Hall of Fame. And the last thing that Triple H said, let's try to be positive. How about you say something positive to somebody? Because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what that one little bit of positivity can mean for them. So I might look, I understand when we started this episode and it was a little fucking dippy, shippy, and shitty. He's a fucking dickhead. There's no fixing that guy. But I'm pretty sure he's that way because nobody was ever positive to his ass. And I'm going to assume that's what it is. So I'm going to challenge you, fucking Gerard, not Jacobs, because Jacobs always positive, but you, Gerard,
always
fucking positive.
Oh, no. That's why I was going to lead from that to the next match, which was the women. Jade Cargill, Naomi. Now,
this match,
you're going to ask me to say something positive. You're going to ask me to say something positive. What's the positive thing?
They looked great.
Jade's nipples looked great. I mean, they were out on full display.
What I was going to say is, she got through a match.
Back to that 4K camera. I'm sorry.
Even though it was slow as snail shit, she got through a match without botching a move.
She did botch a move because
she was overwhelmed.
Okay, Gerard, you text me at this time, and I can tell you the same thing when you said what you said.
Okay, let's see it. You can't.
There you go, wife. There you go. She was going too fast.
No. It was a C.
You could just tell Jade was like nervous or something because
I don't think Naomi. I think Naomi carried the fuck.
That's what I'm saying. It was a C only because of Naomi. I said that match was so slow. There was no speed to that. There was no.
By the way, can I just say I love Naomi's?
Okay, I'll tell you the perfect example. Naomi goes to the rope, and Cargill's not taking her time to get there like she's supposed to. So she's standing there waiting to get the spot. What the fuck? And that
either they didn't rehearse this match enough, or I don't know.
No, it's not even that. This is shit you were supposed to learn in developmental, but Jade is just not getting it.
Well, let me ask you this, and I think I bring it up to you guys before. When you learn a bad habit, like, and you hear about a lot. And like,
I don't blame Gerard. I don't blame her. I blame.
That's what I'm saying. When you learn a bad habit,
up her ass.
When you learn a bad habit because where you came from, now you come to a new place. But because you've been trained so bad, and the new place tries to get you retrained a new way, I believe you're still going to go back to your bad habits sometimes.
Look, she started out in a mom and pop sandwich shop, and she was a big deal, and now she got hired by Subway, and she does not want to fucking listen to the corporate way.
And a perfect example of this, that
she
NXT,
will be back.
You have someone like Sol Ruka who had never done this before.
Oh my god! Can we talk about NXT?
I did not get to see
ladder match, dude. That North American Women's Title ladder match.
Gerard, that is my homework for you. When you get a chance, go back and watch Stand and Deliver for 2 matches. The ladder match for the Women's North American Title. Sol Ruka, by far, hands down, was a delight to the entire thing. And the main event, and my wife's going to fucking say, I told you so, and I fucking know she is. I love her. But I no longer think Julia is my favorite. Stephanie Vaquer is money. That girl is I like Stephanie
I want you to
Vaquer.
hear something. How you just said that about NXT. Sorry.
Next.
And then you listen to the Hall of Fame speech for Sean and Hunter.
Yes.
what did you hear? Basically, you heard these kids. We given avenues for these kids and stuff like that. This is the first WrestleMania basically
90%.
made up of NXT kids, alumni. Okay.
Well, and to be honest, Stand and Deliver was way better than night one of WrestleMania. Like I'll just say that. Fucking.
But let's be honest, who carried those matches? It wasn't fucking the NXT. Like who was having the shitty matches? Gunther carried it. He went to the program with NXT. Naomi was carrying that match. She went to the program with NXT.
It was FCW, man.
Xavier Woods, and you can't say anything about the War Raider match. That wasn't bad. Fucking North Americano. Those guys killed it because Ray Phoenix is a fucking G.
I'm glad you bring that up.
I'm honestly glad. I'm glad Ray Phoenix got to have a WrestleMania
Absolutely.
match.
I thought the same
I'm so
thing.
fucking happy for him. Him and Penta are probably fucking over the moon right now.
And they
was
deserve
trying to
it
remember-
because they were held back in AEW. Just was what it is.
Yeah, honestly, that match with fucking El Grande Americano, man, he fucking can't.
Man, I have no idea who's going to that match, but he has a physique of a fucking Grecian god.
It was, dude, the entrance too. I felt like
I thought the Marriott's might.
I felt like I was back home, to be honest.
So I talked to my dad, right? And my dad.
I'm trying to remember which one was first. Jacob and LA Knight, or
gas, no brakes, motherfucker.
Well, which one was first? Jacob Fatu.
Go
and,
to the
yeah, it was Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. I think was before El Grande.
Okay, so now,
so first of all, this match I thought was good. I thought it could have been better. Again, the crowd. I think the crowd really fucking killed a lot of these matches. I think this match should have been better than what it was.
I
think the ending.
Fatu and
Okay, I like it because
I think the crowd really
sold me on. The spot that they sold me on was, I don't know, me and my wife were watching it when he hit the beat FT.
Oh yeah, the PFT.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jacob rolled to the ropes because he knew where his positioning.
Yep.
That's a
He
guy
pulled
who
a great and listen, and he didn't do the foot. He just reached out with his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great heel.
Yeah, I'm surprised he won the title.
For a guy like his size, and again, they brought it up during commentary, who has been in jail, been in prison, been in all, done a stint, who's cleaning his life up. He's meant to be a wrestler. Jacob Fatu, I don't care what anybody says, is meant to be a fucking wrestler. That's what
I'm going to make the prediction right now. I think Jacob Fatu is either going to be in one of the main events for next year of WrestleMania, or at least he's going to be challenging for a top title at WrestleMania next year. Because, dude, this guy is money. Especially
as a baby face.
The worst thing they did to Solo Sikoa was bring in Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
Solo. Have we ever seen a fucking fall from grace than Solo Sikoa? Because look at they gave this guy the moon. They gave this guy fucking his own faction.
Again,
they made him look like a mob boss.
I think that Jacob Fatu is more Umanga than Solo ever was. He needs a spike. He needs a Samoan spike. He needs that fucking gimmick. As
soon as and it was rumored that the reason why they weren't, because Jacob Fatu was signed for like almost a year before they brought him in. It was rumored the reason why they weren't going to bring him in is because they thought he was going to overshadow Solo. And the minute he came in is exactly what happened.
He's not a pretty man, but he gave a pretty good moonsault himself last night.
He does. That's just his nature. And that fucking Samoan drop. Fucking throws motherfuckers in the air, picks them up.
He does the best Samoan drop of all time. I'm going to say that right now.
The only one who probably did it better was Umaga. Because Umaga.
Umaga, yeah. But God damn it, I wish Umaga was still around.
I'm sorry.
Can you imagine if he was still
I think
around?
the Wild Samoans might have done it too a little good.
Calm down there, Grandpa.
The one thing I love about 2K25 is you can play as the Wild Samoans, the Head Shrinkers, and fucking 3-minute warning too. It's like that's fucking great.
So, yeah, all in all, I thought that was a great match. I think LA Knight was the perfect opponent for him. He's flashy enough to make.
Where does he go from here, though?
I want you guys to think about something. Those two were better than the opening match.
Oh, 150%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's like saying, "Oh, do you want to eat this piece of shit, or do you want to eat this fucking?"
I remember a time when guys used to take pride. When you come back to the thing, go ahead, you got to follow that, and you'd be like, "Oh," like you've heard Hunter say when it came to Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, Hunter had to follow it. He goes, "I got to follow that." And that's it, guys. I got to follow that.
Well, and then I think they did a good job though, because I think that out came what was it, North America Grande Americano
Yep.
and Ray Phoenix. But can we talk about that fucking entrance? He comes out with a full fucking mariachi band.
That was probably one of the best entrances of WrestleMania history.
If we had a camera on Dan, he was probably marking out for the mariachi band.
You're damn right.
They should have been playing.
The only problem I had is, okay, y'all were complaining about the 4K for other things. This is the match I'll complain about the 4K. Those tights, that singlet was so far up his ass, I could see what he had for breakfast. Jesus fucking fuck. It was like watching that episode of The Simpsons where Flanders was wearing his ski suit. It's like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Sorry, Dan.
Stupid, sexy
I'm too old for The Simpsons.
Fucking horrible.
But the old metal gimmick in the mask. That, listen, I'm still a product of the George Steele thumb depressor, where he just took a piece of wood, wrapped some sports tape around it. A tongue depressor is a foreign object. And it worked.
And again, this match was pretty good. Again, the crowd sucked balls for this match. I thought the reaction for Ray Phoenix, his entrance, I thought like they should have been louder. But again, the crowd
they didn't have anything special planned for him.
I was kind of like, again, it sucks that Rey Mysterio got injured. I'm a little fearful because I don't know how many injuries that guy has left.
To start thinking about that, maybe this is becoming more consistent. This injury,
he's not getting any younger.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's kind of sad. It's kind of a little bit unfortunate. I think it needs to be time for the end.
I think that in my opinion, the way you set it up is you have at Worlds Collide Rey Mysterio against Grande Americano in a mask versus career match or something along those lines or whatever.
Well, how long is?
By the way, I'm really excited for that Worlds Collide pay-per-view. By the way,
that's my only question. How long is this contract for?
Even if it isn't, I mean, he can go and be a manager, whatever it may be. But it's time for Ray to start. Look, Ray has nothing to prove to anyone in the world. He is greater, and I know there's going to be somebody who's going to say it's blasphemous. He is greater than El Santo. And if you go back to Lucha Libre, Mexican wrestling lore, El Santo was the greatest luchador. He was a movie star. He did fucking movies in the mask. El Santo versus Dracula. I mean, like he was fucking.
You go anywhere in Mexico where there's a little, like anywhere that sells masks, there's always going to be 3 masks. There's Blue Demon, Santo, and Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
And then maybe a La Parker mask on the side. But it is what it is. He's the greatest of all. He's one of the greatest luchadors of all time. Probably the greatest, the most fucking famous, of course. And I think if you want to give Dom some heat, I think Dom should just take him out, take his mask. I think that you want to make Dom.
Here's the thing I was going to talk about, though.
Don't even give Dom the mask, because Dom came out that one WrestleMania where he was wearing the mask.
I think that people are turning to Dom. I think they're liking Dom.
I hope Dom wins the title tonight. I really do.
No, they're liking Liv Morgan.
No, you have no. Their people are starting to. I don't know if it was planned, but more and more people are starting to dig Dom.
What have I said? I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
Because he's funny, dude.
The heel heater, okay, will get turned by the fans quicker than the heel who just is a heel.
So hear me out about that. Just fantasy booking. El Grande Americano beats Ray for his mask. And he starts parading it around. And fucking Dominic comes out and goes, dude, I'm fucking sick of this. That's my dad. I thought he wasn't a father. And that's when you turn Dominic into uber baby.
When he goes full-blown babyface, the roof is going to blow off the building.
When he turns on fucking Chad Gable and puts a whooping on him for fucking with his dad.
Hey, before we go one more step, because you're talking about a turn like that, we have to talk about the greatest double turn that was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Man, I love Bret Hart, but he just has the biggest stick of his ass.
Bret Bret Hart is so bitter about everything. It's kind of,
You can tell.
Did you see when he came out for WrestleMania and like he got like the jobber, like Triple H just shakes his hand. You could just see the look on his face. Like,
Well, I did laugh because we were talking about it, and I said, first thing Brett goes, "I'm honored to be the first 3-time Hall of Fame inductee." I was like, "Let it go, Brett. Let it go."
Well, here's my thing. When you're watching him, if you looked at the statue, he still has about the same amount of hair that the statue had. And I'm like, bless him that he can still have that kind of hair.
That statue looked like shit. I'm sorry.
But I will tell you, they should have found a way to get that third guy there. Have Ken Shamrock.
I'm really glad they're. I look. I would not be surprised if Ken Shamrock is not inducted next year.
I'm surprised he wasn't this year, to be honest.
That's what I said. They should have had him there for that moment because I don't know if anybody else doing that match the way he did it, that match gets over the way it does. He legitimatized that match because of the way he refereed it. These knucklehead refs today, we're not even talking about that.
Yep.
Okay? And what I thought was funny is when Austin called for the beer, if you're looking at it closely, CM Punk stepped back. He didn't want to get
he just slowly walked away. There's a video of that. Like he just slowly kind of like walks to the back. He's just like, okay.
Pat, Steve goes, Pat, I know you'll have a beer. He goes, hell yeah.
Fucking what I will say is
Bret Hart just like barely takes a sip of it.
Yeah.
Like Bret Hart's just like, oh shit.
So they got beer on Brett's suit, and Pat McAfee was like, "I'm so sorry, Brett. I'm so sorry."
Yeah, no, because he's probably never gonna fucking hear the end of that.
So we're gonna go to the next match, and I think the right person won. I think it was a little gritty. I think it was a little dirty. That 4K camera didn't help.
Hey, it will knock your teeth out though.
She was wearing a mouth guard at the fucking press conference. I think that they had some shit to work out, and I think they did. And I think
didn't that happen to who else did that happen to one time where they hit the turnbuckle?
Cesaro.
And oh my god,
dude, that was. I remember when that happened. I watched that shit live, and like afterwards, he didn't just break. He broke like all of his front teeth.
Yeah.
Like
so it looked like Tiffy did the whole same thing.
Yeah, and he wrestled for another like 10 minutes after that, dude. Like if I broke all,
she looked like a lady of the night on a Vegas strip after the match last night. Almost basically this.
But that's what they have. Like I said, they'll have a dentist hook her up. They did the same thing for Cesaro. They put brand new caps and shit on there.
How long?
This match was better than I thought it was going to be.
Cesaro was back the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course he was back the next night. I think.
We'll see how tough Tiffy is.
Time out.
She's already tweeted a picture. She's already got her teeth fixed.
Oh,
she goes, "My teeth are fine."
Well, I would say Lou might have liked them might have liked it a little bit without the teeth for a little while.
Just fucking really, you're a grown ass fucking man.
What kind of blowjobs are you getting?
No, listen. Hey, Lee Cole might have tried to hook up with
Gummers, really?
Hold on, wait, what? What?
Gummers?
He's got no fucking. So, it was hard. I know that you didn't agree with me, Gerard. You thought the match was sloppy or something like that.
No, I got it. I thought I put it a B+.
Better than I thought it was going to be.
I thought it was a good match. I thought I was worried that Charlotte was going to go over because there was an interview where she was crying, but she was like, I got injured and my marriage isn't going how it's supposed to. And
fucking cry me a river.
And I'm 8 years old and I don't have any kids. So I talked to Gerard about this before. And we talked yesterday morning about something. We talked about Michelle McCool, and I guess we'll go back to that as well.
Can we talk about that?
Charlotte made the comment that she's X amount of years old and she has no kids. And this is the thing that bothered me about that. All the shit that Michelle McCool has gotten over the years and all the shit she got about going to the Hall of Fame. And what stuck out to me after hearing that Charlotte promo is that Undertaker said, "My wife, the strongest woman I know, quit her career at the height of her ability, at the height of her run to do something more important. And that was to go be a mother.
Look at Becky Lynch.
Okay, that's great and all, but like, can we talk about how fucking Michelle McCool is in the Hall of Fame? Because like, again,
I have no problem with it.
I do. I think it's stupid. I think it's undeserved. I mean, her and Lay Cool were fucking on top for what, like 6 months, and like that, like
There was a lot longer than 6 months. She was the
Are
first.
you saying that if she wasn't married to Taker, she wouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame?
I would put money on it. Yeah, I would
She
say
was the
she wouldn't
first
be in the Hall of
ever.
Fame right now. She would. It wouldn't just be her in the Hall of Fame. I'll put it
She's
that
the
way.
first ever Divas champion. She was the first to unify the Divas and the Women's Championship.
How long were those matches, though, Dan?
Okay, but that was at a time when they didn't.
She said it herself.
She had to run down to the ring because they only got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But again,
Well, see,
they
that's
only were
the whole
given
thing.
3
Like,
minutes.
it's just, like the whole this whole thing. Like, Michelle McCool. If they were going to induct her at all, they should have inducted her with Layla. Because
Okay,
again,
so they induct her, but they induct Alundra Blaze, and go back to any of the WCW match, you wasn't doing
That's
shit
true.
with Medusa.
Well, that's true, but like again, it's
And
Michelle.
I love Medusa. I thought Medusa was a great character. But if you go back and look at Medusa's career, and as far as WWE to WCW, she
What
got
you just
jobbed
said-
out.
what
To
you just
every,
said,
she
though,
got beat by Colonel
Michelle
Parker.
McCool wasn't a
Hey,
character.
this one for you.
Michelle McCool. There was nothing appealing about Michelle McCool. One of the
She was
worst
the first
things of all
Diva
time.
Search
Hey.
winner.
During Triple H's Hall of Fame thing, he mentioned a woman who's still not in the Hall of Fame by herself, who should have her own goddamn plaque.
And he said it. He said, "You're damn right."
Only because the crowd started chanting. You know what? That is one person. If you had a wall just for women, she should be on top and everybody else below her. Because why?
She changed the way wrestling was viewed.
No. The way women wrestling was viewed. She was, because somebody said it.
Alicia Fox.
She changed it to where to where women today realize it's okay to look that way when you're coming into the
She
wrestling
also
business.
made it.
You don't always have to be a Barbie doll.
No, but she also made it where women could be athletic
Yep.
and everything above. She did that. And
Listen,
again, he
there's
could have
no-
ignored it. He could have ignored it, but he said, "You're damn right."
Listen,
He said himself, he doesn't make those calls.
Dan, I admit it. She probably could have whipped my ass, and I'm not talking about like because I really wanted to. She probably could have. We both said it. The way she ragdoll Marlena, no woman before, no woman after has been able to do something like that. Now, Rhea Ripley got to look like it. Jade Cargill got to look like it. Bianca Belair got to look like it. That's 3. China's been gone for 20
That's
years.
Phoenix.
I'm saying 3. I'm talking about height and stuff like that. I named 3. Think about it. In 20 years since she came around, 3 women about her size, build, and stuff like that have come around. Women like that don't grow on trees. Your 5'5", 130-pound stocky girls and stuff like that, or your Barbie dolls. How many Barbie dolls have they put in and out? But the women who look like they're carved from stone, those women don't come around often.
I agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, say what you want. I still think Michelle McCool showed that you could be an athletic. She was there at a time when people were cheering for Stacy. Look, Stacy Keibler fucking went in. Tori Wilson went in. Kelly. All these fucking.
Like I told you, the Barbie dolls.
Okay, so if you're going to sit there, and she was that transitioning point between the Kellys, the Stacy Keiblers, and to what we have now.
Here's one for you. Awesome Kong couldn't even hang.
I get. Oh no, I agree with you.
Well, she got pregnant.
She did a hell of a job in TNA. Her rivalry with Gail Kim itself should go in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Right. But and there's another one you just mentioned. A woman who could actually wrestle, but because she didn't have the typical Barbie doll looks, that was it.
Again, what I'm saying is this notion that Michelle McCool doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, I think, is horseshit. She was the transitional diva from the Kellys, the Stacy Keiblers, and the Tori Wilsons to what we have now and the athletic girls we have.
But I will say, in defense of Jacob, I think she deserved better to go in with Layla L.
Yeah,
by
she
herself.
needed to go in with Layla. If there was any reason for her to go in, she is going with Layla. She should not be in by
Lay
herself.
Cool should have went in together. Lay
Yeah.
Cool should have went in
She
together.
should not be in by herself. The only reason she is because she's married to Undertaker. Now, again, I struggle to like look at the career of Michelle McCool and really just look back and like again. But you mentioned Tori Wilson and like people like that again. Like at least they did something.
What did they do?
The only thing Michelle McCool
other
did was
than
break
date
up the
fucking
women's
Billy
title.
Kidman, what did they do?
What is Billy Kidman in the Hall of Fame?
What I'm saying is, like, as far as like her career, what did she do? What did, other than pose for Playboy, what did she do?
She posed for Playboy. Exactly. You remember her more than you remember Michelle McCool. That's my point.
I remember Michelle McCool because
somebody's name got mentioned. Fit Finlay.
Yeah, why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? What the fuck?
Guys, never mind what China did. What has Fit Finlay done for the women?
Yeah.
I agree with you. You're not telling me anything I don't agree with, but my thing is this. I'm tired of people bitching about Michelle McCool. Look, she did more than any of us have ever done for the fucking business.
To go behind that and say something, where's my strong woman producer? We're in a time right now where you should have a woman in there who's done it, been there in the business, done it.
Hold on. We keep getting away from this thing. I want to ask you point blank. Do you agree with Jacob, or are you okay with the fact that she's in the Hall of Fame?
Did you hear what I said? I think she should have been in better with Lay Cool.
So listen, I'm not
it was more deserving with Lay Cool than by herself. I'm not
like,
saying she's not deserving, but it was more deserving with her with Lay Cool.
Yeah, it would be better with her with Layla. But I'm just like I just sit here and I'm just struggling to wonder like unless the Undertaker connection isn't there, would Michelle McCool be in the Hall of Fame right now? I don't even think Lay Cool would be.
Let's go down that route, okay? You're married, Gerard.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you and your wife do, and y'all do together, would you, if you were given the opportunity to put your wife, the most important person in your life, into any?
Oh, I'm not arguing that. I mean, I think
that's a no.
Yeah, so I would do it, but like
that's a no-brainer.
Like
that's a no-brainer because you want to see success in her life just as well as yours. All I'm saying is, her with Layla L made more sense.
I think people are making more of a fucking deal about this than it should, because you know what? Every fucking day my wife is my Hall of Famer. Every day. No matter what it is. I don't give a fuck. And if people want to bitch about it, you go talk to fucking Mark Calloway and see what he tells you.
Oh no, listen. Like I'm just
I'll go right
saying,
up to Undertaker's fit. No,
I'm only saying is both of them going in together probably would have put a lot of that criticism away, because they would have said to me, listen, who'd we see in the audience the other night? Acts of Demolition. I saw Axe. Okay. Somebody I never thought, never mind just being in a Hall of Fame, I thought I'd never even see sitting at the Hall of Fame.
To be fair, I know that people were wondering about Demolition going in, and maybe next year, but they had their tag team. And let's talk about that tag team. We talked about a tag team of big men earlier. That's from the War Raiders. What about fucking the Natural Disasters?
One of the best decisions of all time was turning Tugboat into Typhoon and calling him Earth.
Let me ask you this.
That was the greatest decision of all time.
If the Shockmaster gimmick doesn't come across as it did, would this have happened earlier? Has he been living off a 25-year mistake? I'm sorry, a 30-year mistake. Has he been paying the price for a 30-year mistake?
I would agree to some.
I don't think he's paying the price for it. I mean, he loves it. He goes to conventions. He always has the Shockmaster helmet. He's
no. But I think Dan gets my point on it to where.
No, I would agree, because there was a time when an old senile fuck who was a fucking dickhead who was upset because other people went to WCW and he held a grudge, and so fuck him and fuck the Shark or whatever he calls himself in WCW. Or what was Avalanche? I think that a lot of these guys, like Alex, like a Natural Disasters, I think they weren't suffering from just the gimmicks they did and mistakes they made. They were suffering because he felt betrayed, and he's a bitter old fuck. And there was a time
we're full circle right now, though.
Huh?
We're getting full circle on this right now, okay? And see, now we're going to go full circle to where Now you have another major wrestling company, and people are complaining like crazy how people are starting to leave AEW again and go back to the major leagues. So they're trying. They say, you know what? I tried this AA and AAA shit, and you know what? Other than the money, I'm going back to the majors.
Because now, like you said, okay, what you complain about constantly is house shows, right?
Yep.
But now they're going from a place where they had to do 10% of the work and get just as much pay, and now they're getting to go back to the big time and do the same schedule.
Did you see the tweet a certain CEO put out about Bailey, though? Because Bailey gets cut from WrestleMania.
Now, I don't get why they did this. Like, I don't. That's weird to cut Bailey from WrestleMania unless she has an injury. I think they're doing this because Becky Lynch is coming back tonight. I think that's going to be Lyra's partner tonight. I think Mercedes should. I don't know. I'm not one to wish death on people, but I think Mercedes.
Hold on,
Jacob.
hold on.
Stay positive.
Wife, it's time.
Positive.
It's time.
Jacob's Corner ain't no ordinary space. He rants and raves with that fire in his face. Every word a racket, shaking up the place. The whole block hears him setting his pace.
Yeah, so Mercedes Moné, again, I'm sure you're probably cool. Again, I'm not one to wish death on people, and I'm not wishing death on you. I just think that you should not be around anymore. I don't think you should die. I just think you should, go on one of those ships that at the end of this series finale of Dexter, just like fade off into the mist. The fact that Mercedes Moné, tweeted at Bailey because of this, like got you, like, see, you should have came over here. We are in an era where Harley Cameron got over really fast, and now she's paired with Mercedes, and she lost all of her aura, and it's sad because Mercedes Moné, again, I've gone over it many times. Again, it's kind of like debt, taxes, and Mercedes Moné sucks balls, and it is what it is. And again, I don't know, man. Like, I've never had a wrestler who I was attracted to at one time, like a female wrestler who I was attracted to at one time, just lose all of that, and now I just ugh. But yeah.
Jacob's Corner where the truth ignites. No holding back, no silent nights. His rage cuts through the darker lights. Every laught's a battle, every word a fight.
Now, with that being said, let's just segue from that right to main event night number 1. Okay? The pomp and circumstance of it and stuff like that, the attraction of it, what 61,000 plus people came to building to see.
Can I just say that the fucking entrances were not, other than Punk's coming out to actually.
Punk's entrance was fucking beautiful. I'm gonna say that.
He's done that before for him, though. Hasn't Living Color played before for him?
No.
They played him at WrestleMania 29.
I thought they did.
Okay.
Now, the pre-start this main event, I want to say one thing. I think this was a 10-year in the making.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let Gerard have his moment.
Why am I going to say this was 10 years in the making? Because of 10 years ago, Seth Rollins cashes in on Roman Reigns. But Brock Lesnar never lost. Paul Heyman was in Brock Lesnar's corner. How do we know that Paul Heyman isn't the one who came down and told Seth Rollins to cash in on Roman Reigns? Could that storyline go in this direction to where it comes out that Paul Heyman 10 years ago told Seth Rollins to cash in on Roman Reigns?
No, because again, I don't think that they would. They wouldn't call back to that.
Hold on. This is also coming from the same man who wants to have a Royal Rumble where the last 2 guys knock each other out, and number 30 comes out and just goes, "Yay!"
That would be fucking awesome.
Then he wants that to be the champion, so the champion is challenging himself. So they have to challenge a cardboard cutout of themselves.
No, Jacob, I said, could you imagine this Money in the Bank winner winning the Royal Rumble, cashes in at the Rumble, and they say, who the hell is he going to fight? The next night on Raw, he comes up, this is my challenger. He puts a cardboard cutout on himself, cuts a promo on the cardboard cutout. The following week, the cardboard cutout's now in the ring. He's on the stage. So for like 3 or 4 weeks, he just going back and forth.
There's 2 titles, Gerard.
Listen to me, okay? And obviously, at Elimination Chamber, they finally come out and say, we're not going to let you, you're not going to wrestle yourself. The Elimination Chamber, we're going to name.
I love the idea that this is a story that goes on for a year or two. Like,
no. This would only be for 4 weeks. This would only be for 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
The problem is, though, the right person could do it, but today, who's that right person? Like, back in the day, The Miz would have pulled this off.
I agree with you.
The Miz
He's living in the era of WCW and the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valley.
WCW would have done this. I guarantee you. Vince,
you live in the era where the Boogie
WCW
Woogie Man is chasing a giant woman that's actually a man in drag. That is the world you live in.
But now, so the 3 entrances come down. Okay, the match gets on. The first thing that got me mad about this match, you're in a triple threat match. The only way you can win this match is the pin or make your opponent submit. Why is the referee following these guys around? I'm sitting on the top rope. Okay, all I got to do is do a pin. He has no other job to do but then wait for a pin or submission.
Okay, so
can you imagine if it was Aubrey Edwards out there doing this?
Like, hold on, Jacob. Hold on. We're about to fucking have it out right here. You bitch constantly that the referees don't do their fucking job. And
what
now
job do you have to do in a triple threat? The only job you have in a triple threat to do is count the
so he's there. He's there.
Or submit. That's it.
He's there.
Can I just say I love these new referee uniforms? Like, I wish they had a referee shirt online because I would totally buy one of those. Like,
well, they had the stupid ref cam again last night and never used it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying was and I'm going to them and says, listen, I'm just going to sit on top of the rope until, like, if they go out the ring, I'm just going to sit there. Like, why are you going to do that? I have nothing to do other than count a pin or a submission.
You're the most ass backwards man I've ever spoken.
Oh my God! Think about
it. So he's taking his job seriously,
right? But I have nothing to do. Listen. This stuff used to happen in WCW. They'd have a no DQ match, and the guy won by no DQ. He won by a disqualification. I'm like, did they forget the rules?
He's not doing that. He's just following around and make cute. He's being a ref. He's being a fucking ref.
You have no other job to do but to count a pin.
So you want him to just stand there.
Where was Jessica Carr last night, though? That's the only thing I know.
No, she'll come out tonight. She'll be out there tonight.
She better be.
I'm saying is, though, I give them and now I'm going on the other end. It was like, you have no other job to do but to count.
Okay, what the fuck? Can we talk about the match and not your fucking obsession with fucking referees?
Gerard was just watching the ref the whole match, and it pissed him off. He didn't focus on the match.
And then it's like, what are you playing with the earpiece for?
He's all sitting there calling the match.
He shouldn't have been anywhere near it, is what I'm saying.
Well, besides CM Punk's
he didn't get a ref bump. There wasn't a ref bump last night, so why are you bitching about it?
That's what I'm saying. He didn't need to be near it outside the ring.
So he did his job and did not get a ref bump.
I would say this.
You would complain that heaven is too cloudy, Gerard. For fuck's sake,
it's too cloudy.
No, it's too blue. Once you get above a certain,
you're the reason.
Listen, you keep that up. We're not going to talk about the 6 women that went into space Monday, right? And they didn't drive it, so they weren't considered astronauts. Some of those are space heads anyway, so it doesn't matter. But back to the match.
Hold on, Jacob. The match. What did you think?
Right.
So besides CM Punk's ugly yellow attire, I think this match was all right. I think it could have been a little bit better. Honestly, I was just worried that CM Punk, I was worried. I'm like, imagine if CM Punk gets injured in this match. That's kind of all I was thinking this whole time, because they gave him this whole pomp and circumstance, this great entrance, one of the best WrestleMania entrances of all time. By the way, you guys can fight me on that, but I'm gonna say, because again, I'm a huge Punk mark. But I think it was good. I thought it could have been better. Of course, the turn at the end was come in. I think it was the most. I'm kind of shocked that they went with the most odd because everyone was saying this was going to happen with Paul Heyman and Rollins.
I didn't honestly. I was really thinking it was going to be Punk or fucking Roman, and I was like,
I thought Punk was going to win. I thought it was just going to be straight up. Punk wins, great main event.
I love this ending. I know other people are bitching. I love this ending. I think that this.
I love the ending too. I thought it was the actual turn was great.
I can't believe that I am satisfied with a Seth Rollins victory, and that right there.
Yeah, I'd say
that right there blows my fucking mind.
Well,
I want to see
again, as much shit that I give Seth Rollins on this show, and I have, and I will continue. But again, Seth Rollins has just been overexposed for these past years, and like the fact that like I really just want him to go away. Like, not like Mercedes.
Okay, so I disagree. I don't want him to go away. What I want him to do is stop that annoying ass laugh, and I want him to go back.
I just want him to stop everything. Just stop.
I want him to go back to being the Seth Rollins that started out with the Authority, with the black tights and the body armor, and then he would take the body armor off and he would wrestle.
Comes back to with the blonde hair too, like dude, like if he comes back to that, that'd be great. And honestly, like I said at the beginning, if Paul Heyman just talks for Seth Rollins going forward, Seth Rollins just shuts the fuck up, doesn't say anything.
Absolutely, I'm okay with that. I want to see, because we'll say this.
I want to see, because Seth Rollins can be a great heel. In the past times he has been a heel in these past years.
The challenge is though, Jacob,
when he was doing the Messiah gimmick, that had legs.
The challenge though, Jacob, is can he be a heel? Is his song too over with that? Oh,
they need to change the song.
Because they tried to do that shit with Shinsuke and it didn't work.
They need to change the song.
Well, the reason why I didn't work with Shinsuke that much because you have Pat McAfee getting him up on the counter doing the air guitar.
Do not talk ill of the master that was Rick Boogs.
No.
I was so sad when
they're doing it too.
Rick Boogs, man, that guy was fucking entertaining. It's sad he's not anywhere now. He was fucking entertaining,
man.
Boogs. But fucking as the match itself goes now, Punk will have something to say because he's going to do the other thing. Say, hey, you didn't beat me. You didn't beat me.
I think I would love for this to end up somehow leading to Punk and Roman joining forces again.
I think they were leading into that because Punk was staring at Roman and Roman was kind of looking back. So
I think, fuck it. I mean, I don't know what Punk can do after this or Roman. Fuck it. Have them be a tag team. I don't fucking care.
So ultimately, I love the ending. I thought it was interesting. I'm looking forward to the next. I really think it's going to be Seth against Jay. And I think Seth's going to take that title in a quick fucking turnaround off of Jay.
Seth becomes the champion again because of this. No.
You say that now?
I'm going to say it then.
Remind me in 6 months if you still feel that way.
Well, okay. Again, if this becomes a real
wait a minute, hold on. Who do you want to see as champion? Because we all know you can't stand Yeet. You're neither saying you don't want Seth Rollins. Where the hell do you think the title should go?
What do you want, Jacob? There's no pleasing you.
So
no, I know what he wants.
I would put.
He wants to see the modern day Maharaja again.
I'd put the title on Punk. I'd put the title back on Gunther. I think that the world just the main event scene on Raw alone just kind of sucks because again, look who's fucking champion now. Again, I think you could elevate Priest. I think Priest would be a good fucking champion again too.
He's so bland though, man. He's like fucking cornflakes.
No, again, Drew McIntyre. I don't want to see Drew as champion because I don't like Drew. Yeah, but Drew kind of could.
What's that guy's name? El Americano.
Put the fucking title on El Grande Americano. Come on, man. Let's fucking do it. Let's go all the way with it. No,
now that I think about it, you know who I really want to win the title? And you're going to think I'm nuts.
Dominic Mysterio to win the title.
Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah.
God.
I don't know. See, the feud.
I can't stand looking at the troll.
The feud with Dom that's supposed to be coming up has to make Finn Balor look good because I don't think if they're what I think is going to happen. I hope Dom wins the title, and I hope tonight. I hope he wins.
I hope he wins, and they kick Finn on the Judgment Day, which turns.
But the problem with this, though, I can see the crowd flipping on Finn and going for Dom. Because I don't see a scenario like again. I'm not too bold. I'm not being too bold when I say this. I don't think we're too far off. Like I think Dom Mysterio is probably the world champion by next year.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I think the WWE is getting away from the heavyweights as champion. It's going to go down to
look at Jey Uso's flabby ass. Yeah, of course.
I think it's gonna go down to the size of the guys that I knock all the time in the competition. You know
what's sad about all this about Jey Uso is that Big Jimmy Uso, is the much better wrestler of the two.
Yes, it's
so sad. And I hate when they call him Big Jim because it's like they're like, oh, it's Big Jim.
You know,
it's so fucking stupid.
But I will say this: tonight can't get worse than last night, though.
No, tonight has to be better. And honestly, let's talk about.
I got a question for both of y'all. Let's talk about tonight. Who
do we think is going to be Randy Orton's mystery opponent?
I've heard
Rusev Day.
I've heard Rusev. I've heard Aleister Black, but I'm gonna throw something else. I think it might be Nick Aldis.
I would fucking love that if it's Nick Aldis because again, I think the crowd would like it too. I think it would be enough. I think the crowd would.
Is he done as GM though?
What's up?
Would he be done as GM though?
If he has a good enough match, they'll probably be like, yeah, because the problem is like if I don't think they're going to. Like, my heart really wants Nick Aldis because I feel like him and Randy could have a really good match.
Well, the thing that kills me is Randy's fucking RKO'd him twice and even said, he goes, tell Mickey I'm sorry. And he fucking RKO's him.
Well, here's the other thing is, okay? Because of where the next pay-per-view is.
Oh, Randy's challenging for John Cena's title. Spoiler alert.
Obviously, you're going to have Randy probably main eventing. The other thing that we forgot to bring out last night, guys, how safe was last night? Last night had to be one of the safest WrestleManias I've ever watched.
Ask Tiffany Stratton how safe it was.
That you get my point on it, though. It was a safe. I want to see tonight them do a little more risque, and I think the match of the whole weekend is going to be Logan Paul and AJ Styles.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
I'm actually I didn't think I would be that hyped for that match, but I'm actually I'm kind of hyped. That match is like I hope it opens the show, to be honest with you, but I don't.
Do you start tonight with that show? Do you start tonight with that match?
I would. I don't think so. I think the women's title is opening the show. But I would open the show.
Oh, so you keep people so you're going to keep people in the bathroom longer? In the beer line longer?
How fucking dare you? That triple threat is
that triple threat's going to be a great match.
I'm just saying is though, I didn't know which women match you were talking about. I thought there was two women's tonight.
Fucking lost your damn mind.
No, I thought there was two women's tonight.
Hold on, you're bitching about
tag team match.
Hold on, when is the last time we've had women's matches that didn't have a fucking title going on?
Like I just said, I wasn't talking about the triple threat. I was talking about the tag team one.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about Jade and fucking Naomi. When's the last time we've had a match that wasn't for a title? It was just women fighting for a grudge.
Never at WrestleMania.
No, and that's why I'm saying tonight the tag. Listen, I'm sorry to say, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Liv has energy, and it seems like when Raquel gets into the ring, she takes the energy away.
I agree 100%.
How dare you?
I cannot believe it. Gerard Millette, we finally found something we agree on.
God, well, fuck both of you guys.
Holy shit! The sky just turned dark.
Fucking Raquel Rodriguez is a fucking energy vampire. She does nothing for that team. She does nothing for the fucking Judgment Day. The only fucking humor I get out of her is when she shuts down Carlito. I find that hilarious as shit. But other than that,
she's like watching paint dry. Oh my God.
How dare both of you, actually.
No, she just doesn't. Dan, she has a look. But that's all she doesn't.
No, you know what? You say she has a look. She's like Billy Jack, fucking what's his name from WCW years ago. Couldn't talk for shit. Couldn't fucking wrestle for shit. Just had $1 million physique. Don't give one fuck about it.
You guys are fibbing right now. You guys are liars. She can wrestle. You guys are fibbing. Fibbers. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on, wife. You've been pretty up to date with it. What do you think about Raquel Rodriguez? Exactly.
What'd you say? What? What?
That's fucking
that's why I say though. So that tag match is like, and then you're gonna
I
have
just think she's very pretty. I'll say that.
like Lyra
Yeah, you
Valkyria.
thought Mercedes Monet was pretty too for a while there.
Lyra Valkyria.
Well, I think everyone did for a little bit, but like who else does?
Lyra Valkyria.
I think Becky Lynch is gonna come back.
Yeah.
So you get the Irish girls going, and let them have a nice little run, and that way Becky doesn't have to do all the load by herself.
Well, I think that if that's the case, they're going, look, if Becky and her win tonight, great. But you forget Gigi Dolan and NXT last night, they're getting a title shot right after this.
No, but I'm saying is
are you forgetting Lyra Valkyria is the women's Intercontinental Champion? They have not mentioned this once.
It makes it so that way if Becky doesn't have to do all the work herself, you're in a tag team, you don't have to do it all yourself.
I'm sick of Lyra Valkyria. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Jacob. I'm sick of Lyra Valkyria holding up a belt she doesn't deserve. You know who needs that belt? Ivy Nile.
Raquel Rodriguez.
Ivy fucking Nile. The fucking female and American made. Fuck.
Personally,
I'd rather have the one that has with Otis there. Which one? I'm trying to remember her name.
Maxine Dupree.
I think it should be Raquel, but we're gonna push past.
Who's bad? It's about time that Gigi Dolan came up because she was been killing it for a long. And can we talk about NXT? What the fuck, Stax Lorenzo? How dare you turn on the fucking De Niro family?
I'm at a loss for words because I didn't get to see it.
I think you're forgetting the most important revelation of the weekend.
What?
Tommaso Ciampa shaved his beard.
Oh God.
Oh no, he had a
poor. Poor guy. He really
took a fall, and we saw it. It's very bad. And the beautiful locks that were his facial hair that scared. Actually, you know what? I'll be right back. I got to do something out of tribute.
Were you gonna go shave? Damn, that was quick. He had to go shave.
Well, that's great. So Tommaso Ciampa. I think. By the way, I don't think he's gonna be clean.
When did the accident happen?
He said he fell. I think he probably fell and split his chin open.
What, after the Hall of Fame? Because he had it yesterday when they were watching the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, I think he tripped.
Yeah, it just happened. It was on his Instagram story this morning.
Oh.
Yeah, he was in Vegas, so I'm assuming.
Yeah, because I read about him shaving his beard. I'm like, what are you talking about? That must be an old story because I saw him at the Hall of Fame with the beard.
Is Dan really shaving right now? Really? Is that actually happening?
No, he's not gonna shave.
Is that actually happening right now? But no, it sucks for Tommaso Ciampa. Honestly, NXT blew night one of WrestleMania out of the water. I don't care what anyone says.
From what I hear, yes, it did.
Yeah, and just the opening match, to have Ricky Saints and Ethan Page have the match that they did. The match was pretty physical too. They were chopping the shit out of each other, and it was a great match. And again, we had the Tony fumbled chance again. And oh my God damn it. I tried to buy that shirt one time and it was sold out. Lucky bastard. But Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, again, we had the Tony fumbled chance. I honestly just don't want these guys in NXT for too long. That's kind of the impression I got from this match. I'm just like, these guys should be on the fucking main show.
I want Tony D'Angelo to be the world heavyweight champion by the end of next year.
Okay, well, I want Tony D'Angelo to fucking jump off a cliff or something.
How fucking dare you? Trips' favorite fucking wrestler in NXT is Tony D'Angelo.
Well,
he is not. Stop lying about me.
I cannot believe that. But here's the thing with Tony D'Angelo. Stax turning on Tony was great. I think they should lean into this and have Stax be the leader of this Dark State faction, or have him be in this faction.
That's so dumb. Dark State's. I'm sorry, I'm just not
impressed. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But if they're gonna do this, at least fucking go all the way.
The one guy I know his name is Sugars. He wears
Saquon Sugars.
He wears
a one strap fucking.
He put on a Ciampa shirt.
Yeah, he wears a one strap fucking singlet type thing.
Christopher,
by the way, great wrestler though. By the way, terrible.
I'm with you on Roxanne Perez. Oh, and then we saw that Roxanne Perez and fucking.
They got the biggest reaction of that whole match.
So,
Roxanne Perez versus fucking Vakir on Thursday.
What I was going to say, hey, before we run out of time tonight, let's go through the rest of the card. Then we'll go back to NXT.
Yeah.
Priest and McIntyre. Does it make anybody say, "Ooh, I got to watch that"?
I like McIntyre. Say what you want. His fucking
I
his
think
pro
it could
work
be
has
a
been
good match.
amazing.
I think because it's a street, because there's a stipulation. Oh god damn it! Did I just have a stroke? I think like because of the stipulation, I think like it could be a good match. I think McIntyre is probably going to win this, but like again, I don't really care about these two having a match. They just need to put them on the card.
The fatal
but
four-way.
stipulation will help the match, I think.
The fatal four-way. Okay. Penta and Braun Breaker I think they're gonna take Dom and Finn Balor out of the match, and we're gonna see Penta and Braun Breaker for a little bit, not long. And we're gonna see where Penta gets at here.
I like how he calls him Pinter.
Penta, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I'm not very well with the Lucha Libre names calling.
I'm just hoping Dom.
I don't have. Hey, listen, I am a
Lucha
Frenchman.
Libre names. It's just Boston ass
listen,
fucking. I am
It's one word. It's not like it's fucking.
I am a Frenchman. I'm a Frenchman. I don't pronounce Mexicano very well.
Motherfucker Pinta, he fucking parked his shit up in my fucking car.
Listen,
fuck that fucking Pinta, piece of shit.
But Braun Breaker and Penta, I think will have a good.
Fuck that guy.
I think they'll have a good back and forth, and then Finn and Dom get involved some more.
So who's winning?
I want to see Braun Breaker keep the title.
I want Dom to win this match. I feel like the crowd.
I'd be okay with Dom winning. I'd be okay with Finn Balor because I feel like they've been burying Finn for years. But
unless Braun's going to go on and challenge Jey Uso, I don't see why you take the title off Braun.
If they do that, then Braun needs to win because if they're going to put Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso, then and Braun Breaker loses.
That's why I say unless you're going to have him go on to the world title picture, you don't take the title off of him because that's his next picture.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
We get to the three woman triple threat: Io, Ripley, and Bianca.
I already know Io. Io's going to win it.
This should be the best women's match of the weekend. By far and away, this should be the best women's match. And I would love to see a Bianca heel turn.
She's too over right now with the kids.
I'd love to see her do a heel turn.
I understand it, Christopher. Doesn't mean I can't dream. Fuck.
On Rhea making Io keep the title though.
I want Io to keep it, but it's too soon, man. And
unless Asuka comes back and screws Io.
Oh, Asuka would be cool.
I would like to see that rivalry.
Okay,
you always come up with the most off the wall fucking scenarios.
Who?
You.
You got it. Hey, because you throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. And then, of course, we did the AJs, we did the Sin City Intercontinental Women's. Okay.
Well, who do you guys think's winning AJ and Logan Paul? Because I think AJ should win.
AJ should win.
If Logan Paul wins, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't really be mad at that.
I'm sorry. I think Logan Paul should take that match.
Yeah, I was like, if he won, I wouldn't be mad. I think the crowd would fucking hate. But again,
say what you want, whether you dislike Logan Paul or not. The motherfucker can work.
I'm becoming more and more.
The only reason why I'm saying AJ should win. I think this is AJ's flowers for what he did for Taker. He gets his flowers tonight for what he did for Taker.
He doesn't need fucking flowers, man.
I'm becoming more of a fan of Logan Paul. Like, I think
listen. I'm going to tell you. That's why
I like this guy.
That's why I'm saying I think these two should steal the whole show tonight.
Oh,
this
of course.
It's gonna be a.
I got a soft spot for Logan Paul because of that motherfucking Art Bar ass frog splash.
Yeah. And
I just think he's funny too. I just think he's
a scumbag. I love it.
Yeah,
he's a throwback to the Gino Hernandez.
Yep. Yeah. And then we get, of course, to the main event of the weekend. This has the one to be. If you go by Friday Night SmackDown, SmackDown was a very pro Cena crowd until Cody told them.
I was
25 years, John.
So I told that to Gerard. Gerard just called me and we talked about it. And I said that was a very pro fucking Cena crowd, and Cody turned it like
And-
that. Just turn.
and I
it.
said-
Cody did a great job. He turned a crowd in a way I've never really seen it done before. And that's why, people talk shit
Jacob-
about Cody and how he does his promos and shit. But like,
What were
Cody,
the 3 words I said? What were the 3 words I said to start this show today? Watch, listen, learn.
get paid, get laid.
No.
Kate.
First of all, that's 6. Anywho, now he closed that promo with the words of, "It's been 25 years, John, and you still haven't learned how to wrestle."
He has the lightning fist.
Oh, and then John said, "I don't need to wrestle. The finger poke of doom."
Fuck, you poked him in the eye. That was great.
Look,
Oh,
Cena has been treated looks like shit this entire fucking run. The only time that Cena ever looked on top was that fucking elimination chamber. Cena's
If
taking it
Cody
tonight.
wins tonight, then all of this was for nothing. Cena needs to retire for real.
Okay.
Because the way John Cena has been booked since he turned heel,
I need to see this sign because we always see the opposite, but I need this sign tonight. If Cena loses, we riot.
yeah, because again, we're on a situation where I don't know. We could get a Rock and Hogan situation tonight. I don't know. We could.
Yes, and I wanted to go there without until I saw Friday night.
Until
Look,
Cody,
we got
yeah, until
this
Cody.
brand
turned
new-
around.
When the crowd reversed themselves Friday night, when Cody grabbed that mic and he said what he did to John, and he got the crowd to reverse what they were talking about, and then John does the finger poke of doom, and then they have him do Cody does his finisher. That's twice we've seen Cody do the finisher on Cena.
Yeah.
There has to be a
He
receipt
sells
there
it like he's
somewhere,
fucking dead.
right?
Like,
You
he
know,
just
it-
closes
Wider,
his eyes
look, look, he
and
is
stays there.
wider than Sting at Starcade.
97.
I thought Cody was about to start like rapping, like when he started going off, like when he was doing it. I'm just like, is he about to
Listen,
start fucking?
Listen, if
have
he
a
was,
card-
here's the problem with that. If he would have done a Kurt Angle, my name's Kurt, I'll make your ankle hurt. If he would have done something like that,
Look, Gerard, we have this young white meat baby face from West Newbury, Massachusetts, just coming up, trying to change the game. I feel like this young cat who's never wrestled a WrestleMania before, named John Cena, has got a chance.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, if Cody wins tonight, I don't know what we're doing at this point. Because again, Cena,
I'm over the Cody experiment. He can win it again later, but I'm kind of
he's
fucking raw.
I think Cody again as champion hasn't been the best. I think it could have been worse.
Who
I
has he
think the
fucking
crowd-
defended? He hasn't defended the belt for shit.
until now, really, the crowd hasn't turned on him. So, I think that's a.
I don't think he's bad. I'm just bored.
Yeah, no, it's definitely bored.
Well, let me ask you this,
We
Dan.
haven't seen Cena as champion since like 20.
Well, let me ask you this. You say Cody's boring.
Yeah.
In 1 year's time, how many times have he defended the title? And who
Yeah.
have they put him in the ring against?
Solo.
What I'm saying is, though, unfortunately, right now, Cody, and it's going to happen to anybody who's champion. No, but it's going to happen with anybody who's champion. The quality opponents for people being in line right now to be champion is slim. That's the problem. So whoever the champion is, you don't have those guys right now to step up and say, hey, you don't have those 3 or 4 guys waiting in the wing. That's why I say if Braun Breaker loses that title tonight, you throw him into that heavyweight title, the crowd will get behind. You already got the crowd behind Braun Breaker. You got it. You already got it there.
Well,
and
you've also been building Penta up to be this fucking monster, fucking babyface.
yeah. And honestly, like if Cena wins that title tonight, just imagine the pop when he's in the ring, and then fucking Randy Orton's music hits, and then boom, we get the first. Because like again, I think Cena wins the title, and then at Backlash we're getting Orton versus Cena in the main event. The final time Orton versus Cena together for the
Even
title.
though they said it was the final time fucking 10 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, nope, the final time. Yeah, no, but like again, it makes more sense. Now, after this, I don't know where you go with Cody. I mean, because again, like I don't think Cody should get a
He's been running
rematch.
nonstop. Give him some time off.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Let him come back at
Cody
SummerSlam.
shouldn't get a rematch. I would bring Cody back at SummerSlam. Yeah, bring him back at SummerSlam. I don't know who you feud him with. I still think that match with
Let
The
him
Rock
feud
should
with
still
fucking
happen.
John, and then John loses it later.
Yeah, well, I still think that match with The Rock with Cody should happen, but I don't think Rock's wrestling again. Because again, I think we're seeing Rock tonight too. I saw someone saying like maybe Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman come out and fucking and I'm just like that'd be so dumb if that.
I got this picture sent to me today, Dan. I'm going to send it to you. Okay.
Is it Jesus? He rose today.
No.
It's Jesus' birthday.
This is what I got sent to me. People thinking this is how tonight's going to end, guys. Look at this picture. What do you think about that?
I can't
That's
see.
dumb.
How about this? You have Braun Breaker lose the Intercontinental Championship, and then John Cena comes out.
I think that's too convoluted. I think that the idea
John Cena comes out. John Cena comes out and says, "I can't wrestle. I'm not going to wrestle tonight." Because again, he said, "I don't have to wrestle." He's not going to wrestle.
Okay, but you also know that
Braun Breaker.
Me and Gerard have been fucking going back and forth in this match for months, and Gerard even came up to the point where he says that John Cena is going to win by disqualification or something.
He wins the match, but doesn't win the title.
Yeah.
Why?
That makes no sense. I know. Fucking with him is 1985.
No. Now hear me out. The reason why
he celebrates like Lex Luger.
No, it keeps Cody with the title. Okay. And he said it
imagine
himself.
how pissed the fans would be if that happened.
But Cena said it himself. Cena doesn't need to do it. But how many people would be pissed as fans if Cena won the title? Because there's a lot of purists out there.
Picture this: you spend probably $1,200 on a ticket to WrestleMania, and your main event, the first time ever John Cena is a heel turn, and John Cena is a heel in the main event, and then he wins the match, but not by disqualification of all things. Do you know how many people would be pissed about that? Like,
okay, now let me ask you this: do we see The Rock tonight?
Of course.
Yes.
Does the glass break?
Yes, I would hope so.
No, I don't think so. I think that there's been speculation.
They should though. They should just
got his hip replaced, man.
He looks damn good.
He's there. He's there. He's in Vegas.
Huh?
He just got a hip replacement.
I know, but come on, if Stone Cold's not there at all.
Listen, I don't want to hear Real American though.
We're not.
That'd be so great. That'd be so great. Come on. They just they surprised everyone. Please welcome the host of WrestleMania Night 2.
Listen, I was thinking, it's funny, but to go
they
back.
They should have had Chelsea Green be the fucking host of WrestleMania.
I want to see Cody take the title in a way to where that shock and awe finish, like the one I proposed for last night. I would love to see the shock and awe finish for tonight.
At least something shocking. I don't know. But the fact that Chelsea Green's not even on the show tonight, she should have been the host of WrestleMania. You know how fucking cool that was?
They're already starting to make those fucking titles meaningless, which is horrible.
None of the titles are represented. They should have had a fucking. There was rumors.
There is a women's title. There is a woman title in the business that's all important. Everybody wants to be that champion. Everybody wants to come take those titles from this person. Too bad nobody even watches that person or even care about her as a champion.
The Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, the TBS champion.
Yeah.
The locker room champion. Hey, wait, what was it? My dog spot, my liver spot, my friend spot. Oh, my spot. That's what she sounds like when she talks.
I think we're either, and by the way, if we're going to talk about the match itself, Cody and Cena, what if fucking Cena gets injured in this match? Because again, Cena hasn't had a full-on singles match.
About everybody getting injured.
What you just said is what I talked about last night. The safe match. That's what I talked about.
Yeah. And again, I don't want people to get injured, but I'm just saying, Cena hasn't had a full-on singles match in a long time. And again, if he's
just in the chamber.
Yeah, I know, but he barely did stuff in that fucking match.
Dan, I'm glad you bring that up. It's been 7 weeks since the chamber match. The product has taken a definite hit because of how long it's been since the chamber match. You've had 8. Stop giving us the finger too.
It's just like if this match sucks, like the general match sucks, and I think the whole angle's ruined because I feel like this match has to be good too. Like
Look at Jacob. Look at
Christopher Leclerc. That's a great name right there. Yeah, well, I mean, doesn't want
Chelsea Green on a WrestleMania 41 card.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I want Chelsea Green everywhere all the time.
Whoa. What if the person facing Randy Orton is woo, woo, woo?
But he won't get to see Chelsea because she won't come out with Zach.
Yes, you will.
No, she won't.
By the way, I don't know, man. I
don't really believe it's going to be fucking Matt Cardona.
That would fucking suck, by the way, if that was the case. But I do think it would be if it is Rusev.
Guys, I got it. Who is from Las Vegas, Nevada?
The Godfather.
Nope. Feed me more.
Oh, fuck.
If it is Rusev, that'd be great. I feel like if they don't have Aiden English out there singing though beforehand, then it kind of just defeats the purpose.
Because remember, his problem was the guy who used to run the place. They're in Vegas. Feed me more.
Ryback is a fucking joke. You
know what? I know who's also in Vegas.
No, right.
The one and only. The one and only modern day Maharaja.
Oh my God.
And
you know what? I know it is.
This isn't that far-fetched.
Hold on, Jacob. With that
this
logic,
isn't that far-fetched. He beat Randy Orton for the WWE Championship.
With that logic, Jacob, who else is in Vegas? I know who's wrestling. Mario Mancini with his with his fucking ring or with his fucking I don't know, assistant Lee Cole.
Well, think about it. He got taken into the WWE by Undertaker. He can get taken out by the Legend Killer because he is a legend.
I think if Jinder Mahal comes back, I think we're on the precipice of the greatest comeback in wrestling history right now. I think we're on, But no, I think Rusev coming out there would be great.
All right.
I think
we got 9 fucking minutes. Let's talk about fucking predictions here. Here we go right now. Who's facing Randy Orton? Make a choice.
Rusev.
I would say Rusev. My heart really wants it to be Aldis. I'm going to be honest with you. I just feel like that would just be a good match.
Another guy. I'll throw another guy out there. Aleister Black.
No, he's coming next. They already teased it. I think he's coming next.
He's coming out. See, the only problem with Aleister Black is when he comes out, he's coming out with Selena. He's going to come out with Selena Vega.
I think it's Rusev. Do we see Lana though? That'd be interesting if we see Rusev.
The roof will literally blow off that building if you get the Ravishing Russian.
Yeah, if Lana comes out first before music even hits, Like
Rusev Muska.
It has to be that theme song. It can't be some. Yeah, it has to be that theme song. It can't be some generic fucking Death Rebel.
Jacob, for all we know, it could be that guy.
Yeah,
it could be him.
Christopher Lynn.
No, that guy. It could be Dan. He's just in the back of the building right now, not to give it away. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
All right, who's walking away in the triple threat women's match?
Tissues, I think, are walking away from this one. No, I'm just kidding. I go for Io Sky, obviously.
I'm a back that. I'm going Io Sky.
Rhea.
All right.
Tag team, women tag team.
Who's going to be your partner?
Becky. I would love it for it to be someone classic like Oksana, someone like that. No, I'm just kidding. Becky Lynch obviously is going to be the partner. I think they're going to be. Here's the thing though that sucks because if they're going to win the titles and then they're going to have to go to NXT on fucking Tuesday, then they're going to beat Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, who I think should be.
It may be Becky, but I say they lose and Gigi and then beat fucking Liv.
I hope so. What else? What's after that?
We got Logan Paul, AJ
Styles.
I think AJ should win because he hasn't won a WrestleMania in a long time. But also
Logan
Paul winning would be dope.
Paul, straight up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Logan Paul.
AJ.
Next we got Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest.
Charlotte, really? You went Charlotte wife, really?
Charlotte comes. Can you imagine? That'd be fucking.
Listen, don't put it past them.
No, I wouldn't. I don't.
They have her lose last night. They come out tonight to win the tag titles. Okay.
You know how much booze.
Oh yeah.
It'd be the greatest. It'd be the greatest small time.
But Damian and Drew, I want to see Drew. I want.
It has to be. Yeah, I feel like it has to be Drew because
I want to see a total squash. I want to see Drew just beat the crap.
Fuck that. I want
this match to not take place at all. Like if
I want to see a Gunther fucking Sheamus style fucking ass whooping. I want to see them beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Poor Sheamus too. Sheamus isn't even on the card this year.
Main event: Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Or in the words of the man who fucking calls the intro to this show, John Cena.
I mean, it has to be Cena. It really has to be. There's really no other option. Because if Cody wins this match, then, like I said, I don't know.
Jacob will eat his hat, which we're still waiting on that since Jey Uso won.
I know. I just have to. Yeah, no, I still have to eat my hat. I'm still, I'm figuring out which hat to eat. I'm trying to I have to boil it at some point.
Unfortunately for you guys, I cannot go against a Massachusetts man.
Yep.
I'm with John Cena. Really?
Hey, listen. 15 minutes from where I live, I can get to the father's house. So he's not that far down the road.
Good old Cena Senior.
Which I'm shocked he wasn't at WrestleCon this weekend.
I know, right? Yeah, no, he's definitely
every other clown was at WrestleCon. Wyco, he should have showed up. All the other clowns were there.
What you need to do is quit giving a shit and get us the John Cena Senior interview that you promised us when you joined this program.
I never promised anything.
I assumed
I will never over. I assumed
that was a given.
I got you one interview, and you got mad.
He told me to go fuck myself.
He knew character right off the bat. Oh, you poor soul.
Florida sucks.
Other than the weather,
does not suck.
Other than the weather,
depends on where you go. Honestly, I mean, the only times I've ever been, it sucks balls.
Oh, Tallahassee, because it's in the middle. It's the one part of Florida that's in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
I mean, literally, it's like nowhere.
So
I'm just hoping that we see Titus O'Neil tonight. Because
I was actually thinking about Titus O'Neil a second ago. The question I'm going to ask though, Monday, who comes back? It's the Raw after WrestleMania.
Aleister Black.
Well, I mean,
we'll see Aleister Monday.
If we see Aleister Monday, then I don't know what all these promos on SmackDown are for, but if I don't know who else just got signed recently? It's Rusev, Aleister Black, and then there's one other person, right? Isn't someone else coming back? Oh my god!
Let it go. Let it fucking go.
I don't know. I would love to see Jeff Cobb make an appearance. Showing up somewhere this week.
This AAA. Who's the main guy in AAA?
Oh, Vikingo.
There you go.
If we see Vikingo on Monday night, that'd be fucking awesome.
Look at the trip.
We all know it's going to be Repo Man.
Yeah. Talking about Hall of Fame inductions, that should have happened. But
I said, it was good to see Axe. It was good to see Axe in the crowd, which, like I said, that means he's buried a lot of the stuff that was between him and WWE. I never even thought I'd ever seen him.
So he's no longer pissed off?
No longer suing.
Maybe he finally got paid. Listen, the whole thing was over money. It was all over money.
Isn't it always over money?
Oh, everything's always over money. Over money, under money, because of money.
And some guy who tried to make money off you?
Well,
Yep.
It didn't work out so good, though.
Well, what are you talking about? It was a great time. Led to a great poem.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Wait a minute.
About the poem, Gerard? Was the poem nice?
Wait a minute. The good part is, I think all the WrestleCons will be done in about an hour. Okay?
Yep.
Before
we close out, Butterbean and Minoru Suzuki had a match. Did you guys see that?
No.
Yeah, no, it was fucking horrible. I think Dan Severn was the referee.
My God.
And Dan Severn thought like that it was a shoot basically, and then it ended up turning into a shoot because both guys got counted out, and like it was very weird. And then we also had Mickey James fight Maki Ito, which was also great. Mickey James, who just a week ago said that women, all I can see is their ass, and she's literally in the ring, fucking, and again, I don't know, weird shit. Bloodsport happened. Karrion Kross was on Bloodsport. Natty Neidhart was there.
I will say this: next week we will be back at a regularly scheduled time, and we will discuss all the happenings to go from tonight through next weekend. Okay. I hope you guys who are all watching enjoy tonight's show. Okay. And as Dan would say,
like 10 brain cells fucking doing this, but yeah.
Keep an open and positive mind about it.
Really? You're saying that?
I'm gonna try to keep an open and positive mind.
You just got to be positive, man.
That's it. The power of positivity.
Yes. And as I always say on my channel, keep your dicks hard and your pussies wet.
What the?
I work with these guys.
Wife.
I'm Dan. That's Gerard. That's Jacob. Enjoy WrestleMania, guys. We'll see you next week. Wife, say goodnight.
All of you Marks have been listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.
Calling all the grappling fans, from body slams to high-flying plans. Join the chat, hear the scoops. Jump in quick, don't be a stoop. We're throwing down in every match with tales and fights that you can't catch. The Marks Podcast is the place to be.